Alright, we're gonna get started here. Everything was working just fine, and then I try to watch myself, and it gets all weird, but whatever. But it should be working. Um, I was hoping to be able to monitor things a little more proactively on the old Twitcheroony website, but it doesn't seem to work properly. Whatever, it's fine now. I have this song stuck in my friggin' head. Is anyone else gonna show up? Probably not. That's probably fine. Probably okay. Probably just okay. We're gonna play some Valheim. I already started, but I have to start singing. I know what you're thinking. I bet you're thinking, is that an overlay that he created for that? That says starting soon, but doesn't have a timer and is just sitting there? No, it's not. It's just a fucking photo. Look, it's just a photo. But we don't need to look at that, because we're going to look at a retrospective through screenshots of the FU village, named because of the large middle finger statues that mark one of the entrances. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the early build photos so you can see where it all started. And we're going to start just looking at photos. We'll just go through them. If there's anything of note, I will mention it. Otherwise, whatever. Dude, whatever, bud. This is one of the very first little place frames. Always want to place your fireplace or hearth place just so you can have an idea of where you're going to put it. So let's look at the next one. This is the flame metal castle framework. I knew I wanted a big tower because this is the highest point of the hill, and so I wanted to make a tower that you could see from the river. So that ends up becoming a tower. I've got my food here on the left here to eat while I'm making builds. Also built everything, almost everything, using the iron bars so that I could just build without worrying about it and not thinking about it. I didn't want to have any restrictions on height. There's the other side of that. There is what it looks like. There was a natural indentation in the land here, and I knew I wanted to make that into a little docking bay, a little special hideaway spot, and there's a little staircase that goes down it. This is the I called it Wolf Duck Manor because I used yellow and green, and that is the ducks, but I also used the wolf heads. That was a pretty cool one. I wanted this to be open and available as a kind of natural point of interest, so I added that, and then I ended up covering it up and putting some hot tubs on it because that made more sense. That is the side profile of that. This is where the shops are. I knew that I wanted to have a little, like a mall, a little shop area, so I added the mall shopping area here. That got developed way more. It's the top view, another view of that. This is where I built another little inlet docking area, and I wanted there to be a bridge over it, and I wanted there to be houses conjoined by a bridge. So that's the duplex manor that I built. That's one of the sides of it, and then this is the Green Wolf prison. I wanted to make this like a kind of defensive post, and I ended up making all these bars and putting bad guys underneath, and then the upper level goes up to the bridge on the other side. That is the top view of that. Ended up calling it a prison instead of a garrison. This is the beginning of the Azure garrison, which is all blue. A lot of things color-coded for fun. But that was one of the best ones. I really like the design on that one. Everything is pretty square. I got a comment that I didn't have enough curves, but I added curves other places, and it's just easier if you're just trying to build a lot to just go with a bunch of straightforward buildings. Also, I've done tons of towers and things like that before. On the left, we have the bridge. I wanted a bridge big enough to hold the Drakkar. This is one of the first things I built because I wanted a big ol' stinking thing going across the whole river. And I didn't mess with the land at all around it. I just wanted to use the land, and that goes all the way across, and that is just big enough to hold the Drakkar. This is the beginning of the mages building, all obsidian, and interesting layout on that one. And then up here is where I have the traditional style church here, Christian style, and those are connected by that little walkway. So now we're getting a little more framing built, This is the tiny ranch build. Ended up connecting it directly to this particular statue of a hand right here, but I really like that one. That one's got core wood and stone, so it's a little bit more protected since it's on the edge of the river, and just beyond it is the Mistlands, so I wanted to kind of act like that was a potential danger. Worked on the top part of this. You can see the FU here. I made a whole video about that if you want to watch how I built that. And that has hanging. I put iron bars all the way across and then put hanging wards to show that. I've got some of the walkway that goes all the way down to the dock here. There's a locks hanging out there. This is that prison again. We've got another shot of that. This is like the first photo I took. This must be the first thing I built. Was just tall enough for the Drakkar. And then I started working on this, which ended up being the Black Forge. So there's two Black Forges, nice little round area here. I really like this entrance because it's these two doors are not combined in the center. There's a center beam, and they open separately. That's the front of it. So I've got the, that's curved there. That's cool. This is the front of the flame metal. I knew I wanted this one to be all made of flame metal structures so that it would be bright and easy to see from down there. So I started working on that. I kind of bounced around, just kind of filling in areas as I felt like building them. Trying to get an idea for designs and things. What else do we got here? Flame metal. Yeah, that one's coming along. This big round area here in the front with a big open window. Big open doors. There I am over in the corner. And then this one, I really played around with lighting and color schemes. I wanted this one to be all wood, so it's all different types of wood. Mostly the dark wood and the fancier woods. And I put torches of each different color underneath these, and then covered them up with the 2-meter beams so that they would glow instead of being fires. But if you do it like that, they don't go out, they just stay lit, and you can just make them into glowing pillars. Everything's got a dock. This one I just made a kind of checkerboard pattern with the flooring, and made this all of mostly with a base of stone and then wood. That's what it looks like for that. Made sure to use as much cool lighting as I could. I really like these ward covers, holders in that build. This is the church, and with that one I ended up putting the mist torches underneath the foundation so that it would glow underneath and make that cool light. That's the outside of it. Just making more stuff. That's how the internal action works on that, with all the little fires around. And then just continuing to build. This was cool. This was the, as I was making the bridge, I wanted to make a cool staircase up to the top point, and I figured out that you could make this really interesting wraparound kind of thing. That would be good for, like, the inside of a foyer of a castle or a big mansion or something. And then I wanted there to be lighting, so I just covered the middle part of this with trophies. Starting to build on the prison. That's the ranch getting built. Ranch. We'll just go through this kind of quicker now that we've kind of seen the main layouts. And yeah, that's like almost done there. What do we got here? Yeah, that's the outside. I added a little kind of distillery spot on the top of that one. That is the yellow side of the duplex manor. And then that's the tower that I built just to be able to look out on everything. I decided to make this build mostly because I just wanted to, I didn't have anything in mind, and I just wanted something that would just last a long time. And it took me about 3 months to finish it, adding little bits and pieces most days. And it's starting to come together there. That's almost done there. Before I ended up filming my cinematic walkthroughs, I ended up kind of adding to a lot of them, trying to finish them up and detail them. I really like using the meads and such as lighting accents. I learned that from somebody's video a while back. So there's a little outdoor porch that I put a hot tub on. There's me flying over here. The outside kind of cross-section of the prison. This one I thought was a lot of fun, making this kind of almost like a face or something like that for the shop, the magic shop. Let's see if we can relay this up here. That's the outside of that. Lots of cool purple lighting. So each building uses different color schemes. So we got the blue, the yellow, and green. We've got purple. This one is the yellow and green inside for this. The flame metal mostly just used, you know, whatever lighting I felt like. That's the walkway. How many more of these frickin' things? This is the little hidden fermenter basement. This is underneath the main bed of the main castle, the flame metal castle, and that is a little barber shop where you can, like, literally barely fit. It's just exactly tall enough to walk into, but you can still use it. I tried to make everything mostly practical to use, other than some of the lighting would be tough to actually relight because it's so high up or something, but I really like these as little walkway torches. Just a little trophy holder with a skeleton trophy on them. Use those all over the place. It's inside of the Black Forge. I don't really remember why I put these. I just wanted lighting there, and I wanted to cover up these, and I ended up putting these Christmas trees. They don't really match the aesthetic very well, but whatever. Top view of that. Outside of that, just lots of pictures. Oh yeah, this is when I was building the walkway lighting for to go from there to there. Those were fun to build. Used yellow and green. I added the generators, the shield generators, in a few different places, but I ultimately don't really like how the shield generators look mostly. So I took them out of most spots and only had it left over in one spot that'll show up here soon. They just are too weird, and they sort of create weird effects on the when you're making videos and things and walking through them. So that's the side of that. That's inside. This was the two manors were kind of like hunter cabins, kind of themed, like they like the little guys there. Let's see outside of that. This is the inside of the prison. It's got 3 beds for 3 guards who all each have a key. I ended up putting keys right there. Each building has some amount of crafting, but each building, the whole city has like all the crafting anybody could ever need. This is when I was finishing up about to film, and I wanted to use as much of the different items as possible, so I made an archery range behind here with the glowing different colored lights on that. And then I made these big pillars out here just for just to kind of add to the area. This ended up being the farm, or the more like the vegetable farm, and then I have like the lox farm down there. Big outside view of everything. Oh, that's me sitting at one of the tables in the Christmas house, which is one of the duplex houses. Yeah, so I made that one. I mean, why not? Just do all green and red and just make it a Christmas house. This is the portal hub that I made. I tried to make it 1 beam tall, or 1 beam wide, just all the way up, see how high I could go. After a while, some things actually started to break down, so I added more supports, and it still started breaking down, so I just went up too high. But you can't really tell. It's still mostly there, and I changed it up a little bit, but I kind of like that it's just kind of crazy and weird and above everything. Yep. That's what that looks like. I tried to make the portals on the top here match each of the houses, so I kind of used the same materials. I don't think that really came through very well, but it's all good. It's a top view. That's pretty cool looking. And then I wanted to make a tower over here because it seemed like there's nothing over here to like protect them or to use as a lookout, so I made this tower. It's a pretty decent little tower. And then I added this little outdoor area for the shops, and that I thought looked kind of cool. Little area to chill out when you visit. This I just took a picture because I had set these generators up, and they ended up, one of them was getting hit by something. I couldn't figure out what it was. I just like the look of that. It's a cool photo. And then you gotta have a maze, right? So I made a maze, and it's a real maze. There's really only like a couple different ways to solve it. If you run it backwards, it's pretty easy, but that was fun to make, actually. I'll probably make more mazes in the future. Very simple maze, for sure. This was my building that I wanted to do, because I wanted to put, roughly speaking, one of everything as far as trophies and as far as armor and weapons, and I want to have everything represented, almost everything in the game. Not literally, but almost. And this was my ode to the beginning of the game. So I just built this up real quick and put some of the early game stuff in it to show that. And then you got to have a treehouse watchtower, so I built that. These little wisp lights in the form of kind of a hand with the egg there. That's the only egg I have in the whole thing. With some defensive pieces there. Trying to make cross-section pictures by using the camera and bringing the character really far away, and it'll kind of cut off some of the sections so you can kind of see inside of some of the buildings. Just kind of cool. Let's just go through this really quick because I'm gonna go and show you in person right now. What up, Joey? Thanks for joining. You're just in time to get the actual tour on the way. I was just going through all the photos, and Twitch is finally fucking working properly so I can see what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. It's all very fancy, all very schmancy. Oh, weird. I'm in a boat. I'm on a boat. Let's go ahead and make it so I can jump around and God mode, no debug. Time of day, we'll do I like 0.35, and we'll do environment clear. And get rid of the HUD. I'm gonna go ahead and start roughly where I started building and where I started my videos at. It's gonna populate here in a second. All right, let's all get populated. Let's populate. Okay. Out of these trees, I don't know. They don't look super cohesive, but you gotta have your tree farms, right? Yeah, nothing works right. I hate when Twitch just like refuses to work. I made this big FU because everything is all about that FU in this village. And this is a big FU to any planes that might go overhead. Didn't really show that off too much. And then I started with this bridge, and it is exactly tall enough. It's hard to tell, but this Drakkar Noir can fit right underneath it. It must have went forward a little bit because of the ocean. Let's see if we can push it back a little bit. And we've got the bone maw serpent and our crazy staircase here. And that leads us to, let's go this way. Let's go around this way, and we'll just go ahead and walk. One of the last things I added was prisoners. We got a real tall drink of water here with the troll just hanging out. You gotta have one of those, right? And then I've also got a Fenring just hanging out. He's got his little bucket just in case he needs to poop. What's the story about the kind of people live here? The kind of people that live here are Valheim enthusiast players. I want it to be somewhat like real... Is this guy mad at me? No. Somewhat like a real playthrough, like if you were playing on a server and there were a bunch of people. So it's got some really practical stuff going on. Obviously, that's not the most practical thing here. And the people who live here, like they literally, like, this is where they're gonna live for the next long amount of time, and they've been building this up for a long time. And I also made it so that, roughly speaking, all of the buildings are unique in some capacity, using different materials, different color schemes, different build designs, different topics, or you know, like expectations in mind for different uses. With a little bit of a hierarchy. We got a little bit of a class system here. Mostly everybody is equal, but we do have a castle over there, and that's where the main guy would live. Maybe the guy who runs the server, I don't know. But this is where the little bridge goes. It's kind of a funky bridge. I want it to be a little bit hidden from the outside when you're looking in. You can't really see this because it extends out this way. And then we have our just decorative towers, I guess I made. Then I want to do... I don't really enjoy this particular guy here, the little stick guy, Twiggy. But I needed him in there, so I put him in there. And we've got some crossbows. We've got some sweet archery range. I actually think this is pretty decent archery range, because if you stand here, you can go short range. Here, you can go long range. And here, you can go really long range. And we've got every type of throwing or slash... yeah, we got the spears you can chuck. We've got all the bows and the crossbows. And even another spear right there. And then this is a portal that goes up to the portal hub. So this is a bit of a garrison. It's right here on the edge of the water, right when you come in. So if some bad Vikings decide to attack, they will run into the guards that live here with their little lookout room, and they've got a couple of workbenches available, fishing items. Obviously, they're right on the water. Everyone's on the water, but they're kind of into fishing and harpooning. I really liked this build in particular. There's this frickin' dude has been here the whole time. He's just running around. Next, yeah, we got this little thing in the center there. Whoa, what is going on here? We need some frickin' fire going. Where's the thing here? Let me get you. Where is it? There it is. It's down below me. Checkerboard. Mostly all blue design, and then lots of ranged weapons around the outside. Some quick beds just to sleep in overnight, because these guys got to be watchful. Also, this is a cool statue that I built. I'm on fire. No big deal. I really like building centerpieces out of stone or groston or metal or whatever, and I liked this little kind of statuary type thing. Just kind of in the middle there. Gives a little light to the center of the area. It's funky faux show. The deer heads. Alright, let's go to the next building here. I like these little lighting areas. They're kind of big. We can see what this looks like from the darkness. Lots of light. And then you can make your way to the Wolf Duck Manor. Duck after the U of O. Hello, buddy. We've got some ore refinery here. Lots of stuff going on. Those are just little lights. I used them as lights. What else do we got here? Let's go ahead and go in here and look around. This is another Black Forge, because this is kind of a higher end house. It's all fancy with its fancy wood. Just the one bed here, but it's a double-sized bed, so maybe two people live here doing all the stuff. This is mostly just like a manor house, not too hard work going on here, just a little crafting here and there, but mostly just for fun. We've got two of the hot tubs out here with lots of food to enjoy. Lots of love potions and sexy drinks, stamina recovery drinks, or like, I don't know, I guess there's not technically stamina, but other things that relate to sexual intercourse. There. We got the front here. Can we lock this up? Yeah. I can tell even my computer's struggling a little bit. Real fancy front end here. A little secret, you don't actually have to go through the front door here. You can go through this little side passage, which has a secret entrance to a little treasure vault, and then there's a little door here. There's also, because this one was like mostly about lighting, there's like lights in there, like underneath to light it from the bottom. You can't really tell, but I'm sure if it wasn't there, it'd look a little bit different, but it's kind of lights up this bottom area. And because it's green, all the green trophies are here as well. There are some yellow trophies, but not quite as obvious. Well thought out. That's what I love about you, your attention to detail. Yeah, there's quite a lot of detail here, although I feel like I could do better with some of the structural design. So then the walkway here has a different set of lampposts, and these ones are permanently lit. I really like these ones. A very simple design. If we look at it from here, you can kind of see, like this one, they're all looking like yellow and green, and then this one turns blue and yellow. Also, the top of this glows because there are torches that kind of get embedded in the top of the ground in there, which makes it so that the whole thing glows. This is the flame metal casserole, and there's a nice little secret or little side resting area with its own little what is that, a barbecue? Like a barbecue with a bunch of mushrooms. And you can just kind of chill in there. Otherwise, we go in through here, and we've got our looms. This is the only place with looms, as far as I remember. It was a good spot for looms. I was going to put, like, all the loom stuff in there, but I forgot to when I was making the video. I like this one. It looks like a Fu Manchu is just hanging out there. And then we've got trophies, all this stuff, and we got some food. Can I eat the food? Yeah, I can eat the food. Let's eat the food here. Yep, okay. Doesn't really help much. What else we got here? This is another farm, kind of cooking kitchen area. Am I out of wood? I bet I'm out of wood. Am I out of wood? I am out of wood. Let's go ahead and spawn some wood. Very loomy, yes. It looms large. And then this is where the map is, so everybody can add their info to the map. Got some Black Forest stuff here. Add to the map. And then we've got our underground... Oh, you can't actually go under it anymore because I added that little top piece to it. Well, that's a bummer. Well, we're gonna have to fucking fix that, aren't we? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Here we go. Now we can go under it. Nope. Why can't I go under it? I was able to go under it before. I'm just gonna get rid of things until I can't. Until I can go under it. Is that right? Can I go over there now? Come on, baby. Oh, okay, fuck it. Well, that's where the barbershop is, and I swear I was able to get in there before. I don't know what happened. Maybe I got taller? But, whatever. So that's the kitchen area, and obviously we got a bed up there. Let's go look at the underground little wine cellar, making our meads. Got our stone golem trophies lighting up the little area there. Yeah, I guess I do need a running start. Let's try that. Let's run. Can I run and slide like in Far Cry? Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay, now we're in here. So we can get in there and do that. That's all I wanted to show. So yeah, we can go down there, and let's go up to the tower area. It's actually kind of a high up tower. Don't fall. Don't fall. Mouse is tripping out. Come on. Okay, we're up here. We're up here. There we go. Smooth. Nope. Less smooth. Why is it hard? Okay. Let's go ahead and change our timing again here. So this is our big tower that you can see everything. See all the cool stuff. Light yourself on fire. We got a bear breeding program over there. A big ol' farm out the back with some vines hanging out. With some cool weapons just in case you need to shoot from up here. Pretty defensible position. That's the whole little village there. Let's go back down. Hiya. Hiya. And then we got a secret entrance here, which goes to the back door, which goes to the portal. And that goes outside if you need to. Just a little secret. Gotta have secrets using the... Where's the thing here? Of course, now that I say that, I can't get back in. The fuck is it? There we go. See how good I am at making stuff? I made it real perfect. Yeah. Can you tame the new bears? No, you can't tame the new bears. But if you set the world to passive, it kind of feels like they're tamed. We've got a shared refinery section here because we have, you know, that building and that building has 2 black forges. So this is cool. I like my favorite part about that is the top part, which is a checkerboard. I just like it. It looks cool. It's kind of a funky acts as a roof kind of design there. All right, let's go back down. We have this walkway with my other lampposts, which are just groused and trophies. And then we've got our Black Forge building. We've got the little stones. I've never found these in a real playthrough, but you can make them. This is one of the more elaborate little decorations. I used those, that. I covered all that up. Just kind of made a kind of decorative little wall there. We've got a Mjolnir, Frostnir, whatever. Black Forge here, Black Forge here. I really like this spot. It's very mage-tastic. Rock Friends. The Rock Friends. And then he's got a couple of higher-end armor pieces up there. And then these big funky doors that I mentioned earlier where you can, they're just kind of like different entranceways. I like this entrance. This might be the most interesting entranceway I've made, although it could be more interesting, I suppose. And then you come up here to just this quick little spot, just in case you need to fling some rocks at people. And got the other side over there, and the wisp lights. Let's go look at the little extra stuff we've got here. This big rock was here, and I just thought it would be cool to dig into it. So this is where you can get a lot of your stone. Obviously, if you broke the whole thing, you would get way more stone, but it just kind of represents what it's like to mine stone. And then we have the ode to the early game, just the very earliest of crops, just a tiny little building. It's real cramped, but technically works, kind of like a lot of people build their first buildings, with a bed, and then the leather armor, and some early game weapons and trophies. That's about it. And of course there's the early game upgrades with some honey. It's really the only... Oh no, I have a honey spot over there, and just some quick, so you could do some early game stuff. How far from the center of the map is this? Let's look at the map. That's where it is. So we are... This is where the center is. This is my build world. I should have started with this. I'm gonna do a video soon, going through all my builds, on this world and all the builds that I can remember, but it is right... Uh-oh, I got lost. Where is it? Plains Treehouse, Riverside Village. Yeah, right here. So it is right here. That whole area is completely villaged up. All right. I wanted to have a spot with the bears, the new Bjorn. So we got the regular Bjorn, and we've got the Vile Bjorn, and then just a weird kind of shaped roof. I made like a round, like a curved roof on top of a square building, kind of. Not super curved, but funky for sure. And then we've got our, just made a quick tree house, you know, everybody makes tree houses. I made a whole tree house village, so I didn't want to make a whole big one. Can you share your seed file so others can see all this? Like the whole world file, and they can, like, go into the world, as it's saved, or just the seed? Like... I could share this whole world if somebody wanted to get in here, or if somebody really wanted to, I guess they could just join me here in the world. But yeah, I have a backup physical copy of the file that somebody could jump in. I could share that, maybe on Discord or something. I could put that file. I don't know how to share files on Discord. So that's kind of all the little extras. That's this whole side. We've got some friendly growths. And all right, so let's go back. Let's go head over to the other side, and we'll make our way around. Here is the. Oh, there was literally a fucking. That's hilarious. Literally, when we started this video. Oh, there it is. I thought it wasn't going to spawn in. That would be funny. Little ship there. So this is a little tower I built. It's kind of a nice tower. I like towers. I built a ton of towers in this game. Not, too many, but quite a few. Not always round. Oh my god, my mouse sucks. Alright, so just, kind of goes out. You can look at stuff, whatever. It's just a tower. And then second level, bop-a-da-boop. This is where you can kind of chill out and just wait. But if things happen, you can see out these big windows. And Mistlands over there. Right here are the Mistlands. So that's kind of why it says FU to them. Because FU Mistlands. Alright, let's check out the farm. This is the, ranch, I guess. Tiny ranch is what I called it. We've got our portal. We've got our little viewing area here. Goes up there. You can kind of hang out. We've got our 2 different beds. You can actually use these, though. You can technically use them, although when you wake up, you kind of get stuck in the wall, and you have to figure that out. But there is that. I like the big hands. Yeah, I like the big hands, too. That was one of the first things I did here, was I wanted to build... like in Lord of the Rings, when they have this big fucking... huge statues at the beginning of the river, at the mouth of the river, and I was like, well, I want to make a statue, and I was like, well, I don't know how to make anything, and I'm not very artistic, so I started making a hand, and then I was like, you know what, it's a fun hand, middle fingers, and then I added those, so then I was like, okay, now it's the FU village, just for fun. Just for funsies. And then we have just basic crafting. Some basic crafting. And there are a couple wards up there. But we've got our chickens. We've got our Askvin. And some wolves. And some boar. Just, the typical stuff that you need when you're creating a ranch. We've got our funky ladder here. And then you can go out here and take a look out here. And check out the village a little bit. Fully functional. That happens at my house when people sleep over. Damn sticky walls. Yes. And then we have, gotta have a place to cook your meats. And a little laughing dude there. I just realized I can't hear the game at all, and it sounds funky. Just a small enclosure for some locks. I had Askvin out here. Actually, I had hares out here, and I don't know what happened to them. Let's spawn some hares. Hare, 3, 3. Boom. Go, hares. Run around. I don't know how they got out last time, but you're supposed to be here, you big hares. Bye. And then we've got a little gate to go into our honey patch. We have honey here. And then we get into our mage's quarters, which is one of the funnest things, I think. The mage stuff just looks cool. The lighting is cool. We can actually go around this way. I'll show the backyard in just a second. But we have this kind of just little walkway here. This goes into the mage's area. Somewhat elaborate little entranceway here with some interesting lighting. trophies. And then we just have a plinth with one mage's altar and all the cool mage stuff. We've got the mage hat. We've got springies. We've got these little things, the fusion thingies, fusion cores or whatever, fucking whatever. And then we've got all the mage's staffs. And the mage's outfits. And then we have more mage's staff, the skull thing. Really fun decorations everywhere. And then we have this little area with the ward, just kind of a little area, some outfits. Lots of bones and death up in here. And then we have the Eider refinery, which I totally forgot about until I was making the videos. And I was like, oh yeah, you gotta have Eider, you idiot. And then you can go all the way to the top. That just works real good there. And it's got its own little lighting fixture, which is just the those little golem totems, or goblin totems, underneath the wood pieces there, so they glow. And then, of course, we've got... Here, let's do this at night. We've got our mist torches that are protected by these. So you have to go in here, which is not practical, but fucking looks cool from above. We also do have a small cemetery, because, of course, he's got to be doing experiments on stuff. So he's got to kill people. And we got our small cemetery here. Every build should have a cemetery of some sort. So that's what that looks like. Let's go ahead and look at it from above. So it's all purple with purple accents, and that color's on there. That's cool. All the way around. Alright, now we have our traditional, yeah, the lighting fixture's cool, right? I like that. I like whenever there's glowing, even though it doesn't produce almost any light for practical purposes. Like there's golem totems underneath all of those, so they just make everything kind of pop out. This is our traditional Christian church to juxtapose the dark magic of this church, which is really just a mages out area. And then we have the pulpit right up here that you can go and do your little speeches on your catwalk. They worship Yagluth here, I guess. We are in the plains. That makes sense. This is my fancy floor. Let's see if I can show you what this looks like. Under here, I put a scaffolding system and put in the mist torches along with just on a grid. They're just like on a grid down there. I wonder if I can show you. Yeah, I don't want to bust this whole thing apart, but they're on a grid there, so that it's kind of an even amount of lighting under the floor, so the whole thing just glows. Baby, you're a fire squirt. And there's extra blue because of the shield generator over there that protects, really just protects the structure leading up to the portal hub. But anyway, we'll look at that in a second. So yeah, this is it, just a church, but what's cool about this church that is a little bit of a secret is it actually has a, when all the fires are lit, it has a resting capacity of 19, because this is a church, you want to rest and you want to get all your rested buffs going, but there are hidden comfort elements up here. So all the comfort elements, all the specialty comfort elements are up here and over here, as well as mead makers, because of course they drink alcohol, they're Christian, that's all about alcohol and such, and so there are meads that you can drink. We've got a scary throne, because really it's all a bunch of lies and bullshit. And then we have our... oh, it is struggling to handle it. How many instances are we at? Yeah, 22,000. It's kind of a lot. Mostly because of all the lighting and the moving particles here. But we have our maze behind here that you could get stuck in, but it's not too hard. You'd figure it out. And it just sort of leads to um, a little fueling village just in the back here. So it's a bit of a trap. I don't know, kind of. It's not real. No, this is real. Let's go ahead and look at the portal hub, because you got to have a portal hub. I think this is a pretty funky portal hub. The dogma needs more dogs. Yeah, I should have put the frickin' dogs in there. The wolves, maybe. So that's how you get up and down the portal hub, but all of these go to the different buildings. So that's not a big deal, you know, they just go to the different buildings. And then if you go down to the bottom, which we can go through this little secret hole, which was accidental, there used to be like more, like there used to be a frickin' stone portal here, and a wall and all that, but it just can't support it. For some reason, it can do all of that above it, but it can't support one frickin' portal hub right there, based on the support structure. But all these, this is this. I'll show you the actual. It started as a just wet beam in the center, and it held up 99% of this. 99% of this was fine with just that. In fact, I don't think anything is almost added by adding these 4 on the outside, because just exactly too tall for like the support structure. And I just did a hodgepodge of, you know, connective beams on the bottom because I didn't know exactly what was going to do it and make it work. And then under these is actual, of course, iron bars. So anyway, I think it looks really cool. It would be better if it was just a little shorter and didn't get all funky from falling apart a bit. I don't know. But whatever. I learned a lesson. But oh, I should unlock my tablet there because it thinks I'm talking to it. Okay, let's go back down and go to our next house, which is the Duplex Manor. Yeah, just falling apart. Yes. So when the Call to Arms update was official and came to everybody, I spent a afternoon, I think it was right before work, just looking at all the items that were part of it, and so I put them all out here. So this is just kind of like the ode to that. We even have the new wood sword. I have started a new playthrough just for myself. That's pretty fun with the new Call to Arms update, and I found the spear in the area. We got the new ghost, and then out here is the huge, not too huge, but little farm area. So let's go in here. This is the Christmas house. Everything here is decorated with red and green and Christmas stuff. There's quite a lot of Christmas stuff in the game. I like these fixtures as well, but so you can kind of come in here. There's always, you know, we got some weapons, red and green weapons, Black Forge, mistletoe everywhere. This is a kitchen, because we have the farm there, so we can make all the foods, and that, and then red and green weapons, all this stuff here, and then the shield generator goes right through the house, which I like because it breaks it up, it makes it weird, and this is like a feast place. I like these little nooks with all the food and the books. Nooks with books. Halloween house. I don't have a pure Halloween house, but the next house is going to have the lanterns and some other stuff. So I do have the lanterns around. This is all stuff. And then the bedroom, I think, is pretty cool. It's got all the red and green presents, red and green stuff above, and the new bombs, which there's a red and a green one. Alright, so let's go over here. So I guess this could be considered the Halloween house, right? Because yellow, orange, that's Halloween-ish. But this is the yellow house. Everything here is yellow. We've got our raised bed, yellow mushrooms, our outdoor hot tubbing extravaganza, little area with some food. We got a hearth, and then let's go through the hearth here, right to the bottom hearth, because we got two hearths, and this is the big one. And I wanted this to kind of be like slightly like a hunter's lodge. That's why he's got all the trophies. The trophies on this side are all kind of like more easy to kill, and then on this side harder to kill. The vultures and the Valkyries. This is the entrance to it. Everyone's got a dock, lighting fixture, and then they've got the charred guys here with the yellow coins at the bottom. And then we've got our jack-o'-lanterns, right? Schmear, look at that, jack-o'-lanterns. That's fun. I like this little lighting fixture. It's like a chandelier. I like chandeliers, putting chandeliers in places like this. It's kind of hidden. It's kind of funky. It's yellow. It works. I also really liked this kind of overhang lattice look that's there and here. Let's go ahead and change the lighting to 0.65 and we can see that better. This lattice look here I kind of like. Got this funky chimney coming out the back here. Although it doesn't technically work because the smoke doesn't even get that high up. But yeah. So that's a good part of that build. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this has the what is it called? When you have like a cellar, or the opposite of a cellar, a little attic with just a bunch of frickin' barrels. Because they're alcoholics. That's what it is. And then we've got our lighting fixtures here, walkway lighting fixtures. And this is a Green Wolf prison, which is one of the cooler buildings in my opinion. We got the cool glass front, scary serpent, and then everything, the whole floor is so you can see the prisoners underneath. We got a prisoner there. We got prisoners down there somewhere. Actually, he's like underneath the frickin' fireplace being tortured. And of course, this is where we have the cudgels. You know, if you're going to have a prison, you might as well beat them with maces. Let's go down and look at that. So here is the prison area. We've got our Hilder skeleton. We've got our poison skeleton. And then we have a ghost and a wraith hanging out, because they kind of belong together. The new ghost. And we have our hidden torches. Oh, hey, bud. And they all have a bed, just one bed, and one bucket for pooping. Everyone has a bed and a bucket, because that's what you need if you're going to be in a prison. Oh yeah, there's also a charred guy in this one. He's just hanging out. Alright, let's go back up here. And we'll make our way back up to the second floor. And this is a living quarters for two of them. We have some Diverger guards upstairs. We got keys. I wanted to make sure I get the keys. Keys make really good lighting. They're really subtle and blue, so I could have used them in the blue houses and such, but I just kind of used them in here as keys. And then we've got some bows. We've got some fires down there to light our way. The act is kind of the front of this bridge acts as a kind of what is that called? A lighthouse. And then we go up here. We've got this. So we can make our missiles, because we've got our missile shooters, or ballistas, whatever. Another bed with another key. Our little lookout balcony with a roof here. With our feast, so you can hang out and eat. But yeah, this is all marble around here. We got our diverger mages who can man the fort. I put one down in the very bottom, and he just decided to come up here and join his buddies, so that's fine. And then we go across the bridge. This side is green, because of course green wolf. This side is... technically you can walk up these. They're a little funky because you get stuck on parts, but you should be able to do it. Come on, buddy. There we go. So you can walk down there. And then this side is blue and yellow. And then hopefully you don't fall down there. I should have made guardrails here. And then we're back to the other side. So that's pretty much the whole thing. Let me think if I can think of anything notable. I think I've mentioned all the stuff. Oh yeah, this is another cool spot I forgot to talk about. Over here we have our little forest, and then we have a graveyard, another graveyard, but a different one. I was trying to figure out if I could make a pagoda style, like Asian style thing, so that was just me practicing it. Whatever, I might try to make a whole thing eventually, but then we have our, these are all the different item sets. I think, not all of them, but like I would just like switch up item sets, and made this in the shape of, you guessed it, FU. It says FU. It's a very easy thing to write in the sand. And then we have our little pool with our regular serpent and our bone maw serpent just hanging out. We just captured them somehow. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but I have blocked them in so they cannot get out. And I circled it all with these little deals here. And so they're hanging out. That was fun. Just add those guys in so you can kind of take a look, study them maybe. Is FU your initials? No, FU is just FU. At the beginning of each of the videos, I created like I wrote that they stand for different things, like frat uncle and fart unintentional, because I actually might have farted at some point. This is the shops, which I forgot to go through, so let's look at that. Each shop kind of represents one of the main kind of occupations. So there's the farm, and or the ranch, and this is the ranch shop. So we've got all the ranching kind of items, and ranching foods, and the saddles, and some fishing gear, because that gets you food as well. And then this one, oh yeah, I just like, you gotta put stuff up. This one, oh yeah, I was also playing with the signs finally. I know you've used those before, Joey, but I just was like, I don't really like signs in Valheim. I think they're kind of, they just take you out of the world a little bit, and sometimes they look funky, but I was like, you know what, I need signs for my shops, and I learned how to do the cool icon sign. So we got our sword and shield shop here, with all the best of the best weaponry. We have our oddities shop, which is just all the extra cool little things that Valheim has, along with regular things, but all the new bracelets and trinkets, or whatever they're called, and some of the random weird things like the rock and the horn and the bell, and just some of the random stuff that you get in Valheim. And then we have our mage's shop, which I have a spider there because a lot of that stuff starts in the Mistlands, where you have the big spider mommy, and all mage related stuff here. Even have a little bit of the the crops that grow there, puffballs and whatnot. This one's the most like an actual shop because it has the little spot here to go in and out of. Some cool stuff there. Even got the witch's hat, which is a seasonal item. Yeah, the signs are pretty cool. I'm going to keep using them. I like them. It was fun. They're a little bit of work, but they are fun. And then we've got our outdoor fireplace. This particular one in the center will go on and off because of how much smoke accumulates underneath, which is weird because it's completely outdoors. You'd think it wouldn't matter, but this particular fire will go in and out, which I kind of like. Kind of creates a pulsating. And then I forgot to show this, but this is our little narrow corridor that goes up to the flame metal castle, and that is the portal that gets you there. And it's got a big old long winding staircase. Reminds me of the beach. So that goes all the way up to there. What else? Anything else? Got our little wood piles. A little farm. Lots of windmills. Our bear breeding program. These guys. There's one little plant in the middle I left there for them. They can hang out. They don't seem to be getting along, but earlier they were on top of each other, so maybe they're enjoying themselves. And then we got the big signs. Some of these sometimes turn off randomly, like this one in the center here will just turn off. Keeping everything lit without any mods is a pain, so hopefully I learn how to use some mods maybe for my next stuff. Because I would love that one where everything stays lit forever. You have to go around and just light everything up. So that's about it. FU Village walkthrough, guided tour. If you have any questions, hit me up on YouTube or Discord. I have build videos for all the major buildings. I did stop making build videos a little ways into it because I wanted some of it to be a mystery. I don't want everything to be on the internet. Also, I'm starting to run out of space on my hard drive with all this freaking videos. But we got all the different ships. I even have a freaking raft broke down right here. Watch out. Here we go. Is it? Where's the raft? There should be a raft right here. Here we go. A raft. I even have a raft, and it's all fucking shitty. The Drakkar there. You would have to be very careful navigating in here. So yeah, I think I have almost everything represented as far as like build materials and build items. Like almost everything has something in the game here, except I didn't use any of these spikes. Like I don't need to. I didn't use these because I don't actually need to trap anybody. I don't have a pile of everything, although I have piles of most things. Everything in here should have at least some representation, even the stone cutter that I don't need to use. Even one generator. What else? Yeah, pretty much everything here I definitely used. Although, yeah, I probably used everything. I used that, I used... Oh, I didn't use Darkwood gates. I guess I forgot those exist. Everything in here, probably, except maybe, like, some of these. Furniture... I think I used pretty much everything. Maybe I didn't use the stone throne? I'm not sure. But everything for the most part, I'd say I used 99% of everything possible. I really like the banners, how they flit around. See how that one's not working properly? Oh, there we go, it's loading. But except this side, which broke off. It's a bummer. But it's all learning opportunities. I really like how each building is a little bit different, a little bit has its own little personality and style. But how long is the video going? Hour and 14. That's perfect. So yeah, I can't think of anything else notable here. I mean, some of these roofs are pretty complicated. I've been working on trying to figure out how to do roofs. You can pretty much figure out any roof as long as you don't go too crazy. Like these roofs are pretty complicated, and some of these are actually like if you go too thin, the smoke won't go through, won't go above them, or won't go through them at all. So you do have to be careful about smoke. Um, The only issue was just making this thing too tall, but god damn, it looks good. I like it being super tall. Thanks, Joey. Thanks for joining me. And if anybody else watches this, I'm going to post this on YouTube so everybody can check it out. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Watch my videos where I do my little cinematic flyovers and shit with some music. Those are fun. And I'm posting all the shorts. And then I'll work on more building eventually. And then I'm also doing a video soon for I'm at about 1 year in Valheim, almost like within about a couple weeks. I think we started that first game a year ago, Joey. Like very soon to be an exact year here. I forget exactly what the day was, but I remember posting my first Valheim like build video. That got destroyed immediately after I made that video. But I'm gonna go through and show like a 1 year retrospective of my building and learning, and I'm gonna show some videos of that first modded playthrough. That'll probably be next week on Tuesday, I hope, which would be I think the 16th. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And I think that's gonna do it. Let's go ahead and touch down here. I'm gonna probably go back to playing some frickin' Valheim. I started a new character, and they're just taking it slow, chilling out. Yeah, 1 year. Let's go ahead and say goodbye. Why is it? Oh, because he's got the frickin' thing in his hand. Okay, we're gonna wave goodbye. Oh, that's not how you do wave. Wait, here we go. Wait. Here we go. Wave goodbye. Adios. Let's do it again. Better. Wait. Oh, perfect. Look at that. We just have like a little slow-mo action there. Bye-bye. All right. Peace out. Till next time. Bye-bye.